Okay. Songs is 6. Human Dominion. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm gonna kind of talk through. I'm gonna go right from the start for people who haven't played the game. So, just a heads up, we're gonna be talking through kind of everything. I'm even gonna go through all the menus. It's not gonna be too tutorial-y because I'm not really great at the game, but it's an awesome game if you've never tried it. So if it's new to you and you have any questions, ask me and I'll answer them as best I can. So we're gonna go play. We're gonna random game. That seems to be the only way. There's no like open campaign or sandbox mode. Difficulty, we're gonna go normal. This is a hard game, so. And making things like, I can't even imagine making happiness a harder difficulty. I'm not at that level with Songs of 6, so. As usual, as we're getting started here, sound, let me know how my voice compares to the music, compares to just about everything else. If I'm too loud, which is almost always the case, let me know. We're gonna select human, so you've got a bunch of different races here. You've got some pig people, you've got Dondorians, it's just another way to say dwarf. You have the bad guys from Ender's Game. You've got humans, the race that we're gonna be playing, obviously. You have the common house gecko and swamp hags. Tilapia. Maybe they're fish people. So humans, we'll just take a look here. I'll read you the little blurb. The humans were the final creation of the Astari, and unlike all their other creations, they gave them free will and a shapeable mind. This separates them from all the others. Initially, men were immortal, but after the Second War of the Gods, this was removed as punishment for some to have aligned with the Chaos Lord. Initial challenge, medium, so they're not an easy start. Excellent scientists and managers. Good farmers, good learning rate. Studious. Unremarkable in battle. I mean, come on, compared to ants and dwarf people and fish ladies and the common house gecko. And obviously, I think pig people here, is supposed to be pretty representative of orcs. The Crotonians, I can't stand them. They're always mean in my campaigns. Unremarkable in battle, criminal and mentally unstable. That checks out. Limited natural skills and difficult to please. Also checks out. Okay, so pick 5 unlocked titles to boost your name. Very clearly, I have only unlocked the nudist, so we'll take that. I'll take it. Just going over these, I'll give you little bonuses, I guess, at the beginning of the game, and you can pick 5 as you progress through the game. Warden of the North, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm seeing a trend here. First of their name, Breaker of Chains. This guy's a big, huge Game of Thrones fan. This game's made entirely by one person. His name is Jake. That's all I can tell you. I haven't looked into it beyond that. Okay, so we just picked a random seed. It was 50% between Northern Hemisphere and Southern, or Northern climate, I guess, and Southern climate. And now we have to pick a base of operations. If you're familiar with games like Rimworld, you'll be familiar, or Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is maybe a better example. You'll be pretty familiar with this process. So, if you're unhappy with the map, there's these small pockets of resources. But if you're unhappy with your map layout, you can regenerate it. Now, I'm probably going to do that a couple of times. Actually, you know what? This spot looks pretty promising. So we have, no, it's isolated. Okay, so see, if you hover over an area, I'll zoom in a bit just so everybody can see. So we've got stone resources, we've got coal resources, we have clay, this is, you get a 3x3 pad. And that's going to be your capital cities you're starting out. So you want water. You You want water, and you don't want to be isolated because trade is essential. It's so essential. I found it. I tried an isolated one. So right up here at the top, instead of underplaced capital, we have edit terrain. I mean, I suppose you could really cheese this and just kind of make yourself the perfect terrain. So if you're in a hurry, I mean, go right ahead and do that sort of thing. But we're just going to regenerate once or twice and see if we can find kind of an ideal spot naturally. So the more of these resource blocks you can get under your capital city, the more bonus you're going to have starting. Well, actually, throughout the game. I shouldn't just say starting out. The more bonus you're going to have throughout the game. So you want to avoid isolation unless you're trying to play unless you're trying to do a slow play, which, you know what, it might be something that I'm interested in maybe once I'm better at this game. But so we're just looking around right now for a perfect spot. While we're getting situated here, if anybody has any prior experience with the game, any pro tips, now's the time. Ooh, this looks pretty good right here. We have a bit of water. We have lots of coal, lots of stone. Now those aren't the resources really that I love. Ideally, we're looking for a pad that has wood and a couple resources and fresh water, which he refers to as sweet water. I don't know. We could also be kind of desert people, but wood is your lifeline in this game, especially early on. In my experience, my max pop is like 1200, says Alisanti. Okay, well, Alisanti, you are in the wrong place if you're here for pro tips, because my max pop is like 250. But I think in the past 3 days I've dumped 25 hours into this game. It's really affecting my personal life. Okay, you know what? We've got 3. So there's 3 ore slots here. We have a decent amount of forest. We're backed up against a mountain, which I like. And we have sweet water. And it says we get auroch pastures and teledont pastures. And it's a temperate climate. So I'm just going to slap down a city right here. And we're going to make it work. It looks like we have some pretty close neighbors. So let's just take a look around the map now. Now that once you put your city down, it populates kind of the kingdoms. So if you just hover over these, you get to see the race, their population there on the right-hand side. So these are the fish ladies. Swamp hags, the tilapias. Another human, cool little island desert human nation. That's awesome. They seem pretty isolated. Actually, you know what? That's the same symbol. So this is the same kingdom here. Just these are human. These are tilapias. Now, if we go up to where our home is, Antioch. That's our capital right here. We're going to change the name. We have the Flans Public, who are dwarves, Dondorians, to our west. And Smeaton's Rest. Okay, that's the name of the mountain range. That's awesome. And up here we have the Starless, who are also Dondorians. Wow, okay, we're surrounded by little people. Surrounded by little people. Okay, there's humans up there. So, once you're satisfied, you hit OK. This is some actually pretty cool lore on these splash screens as well. Alright, so same. You can regenerate this map as many times as you'd like. So I'm going to regenerate this map until the road has access to the water. Because generally the road is where people are going to be entering your capital city, your little slice of land. I like that. I don't hate this. So let's see here. Let's see what we're working with. We've got a couple animal pastures. The ore is very, very spread out, however. So I want to make this in such a way that we have water and ore near one another as well. That's kind of the beauty of this game. You can keep on regenerating until you've found, you know, your ideal setup. I mean, obviously you don't want to cheese it too much, but stone becomes an issue later as well. So we have stone way down here, and we have our ore way up here. I find that near the end of the game, not near the end, but as you advance, as you develop, most of your effort is going to go into mining, which is crazy. You spend a lot of resources, a lot of humans in just toss them in the mines. Okay, this is looking very promising. Okay. So we have our kind of our mountain access where we have coal, stone, ore on the outside even, which is sweet. We have some cool shiny green rocks up here, access to water, fruit to forage, gems, they're not too far away. We can build a bridge. Gems over there. This is great. This is great. We have trees, we have water, we have food, we have ore. This is what we want, and we are going to slap our city somewhere right here in the middle. We're going to start with you always start with the throne room. Now, I've never really updated this in my playthrough, so let's see how far we can get with the human dominion. The game starts by default on pause. I'm going to move my camera now that I'm looking at it. We're going to lose music here for a sec, because wait, let's put it in window, so maybe we don't lose music. Let's get crazy. How do we... Next question. How do we do that? I don't think I can do it from this menu. Sure can't. Okay, one sec. These stats up here above my head, they're important to pay attention to, and anybody who knows the game will appreciate being able to see them. Okay, game starts on pause. It is day 1 of spring, year 1 of the first age of humankind. We're gonna eradicate all other species from the continent. That's the plan. All of our resources are currently tied up in our throne room, so the first thing I'm going to do is build a warehouse. I'm not gonna get too crazy here. The game can be a little slow in the beginning, but it really starts to take off. If you haven't played it and you're considering playing it, I highly recommend it. Shouldn't be too bad. Nine wood for that. And just slap a couple pillars in there. 14 wood. I don't even know how much wood we start with, but we have a lot of trees nearby. So I'm just gonna... We're just gonna jam as many crates in here as we can. But that's it. That's good. 72 wood. Okay. Put a door here. Now, it's entirely personal preference, but I always leave 2 spaces between my buildings so I can put 2 tile wide roads. The music is lovely, but maybe a bit loud. Thank you for the input, Samira. Let's see how it feels now. Usually it's my voice that's the loud one. Let's turn up the gain here. Let's get a little crazy. Okay, so you don't have individual control of your units in this game. Everything you're working with you know, you give commands and people kind of fill that gap. So I have 100 wood, so I'm going to speed this up. That's what I like about this game, is that a lot of these game types, Dwarf Fortress is the same, Rimworld's the same, you can crank the speed up to fastest, and fastest is times, whoa, I can double press this? $250 times speed. Did I choose to build this out of stone? There's absolutely no way I chose to build this out of stone, did I? No, okay, wood. Once this gets going, oh, they're clearing. So as they're clearing, they're finding stone all over the place. That'll be these brown rocks, I'm pretty sure. So before they get started construction, they have to clear the land around the structure. Now, we're going to set up the warehouse first, and the reason we're doing that is because we can move all of these resources out of the throne into the warehouse, where they'll be more easily accessible for the plebeians. Now, happiness and loyalty. So it's right under my head. Can I move this menu? I cannot move the menu. This game is brutal for menus and camera usage. Of all the times for me not to have my Steam Deck hooked up. Anyways, I'll figure this out. We'll find a spot. Is that too central? I feel like that's too central. We'll figure it out. So anyways, happiness here, loyalty and happiness. You do not want them at 54, but that's how you're going to start. And humans are persnickety. They're hard to keep happy. Bunch of babies, really. So if we slow it down, one of the things I like about this game is that you can really, like, I mean, I was doing stuff around the house all yesterday, you know, while playing this game, and you just put it on normal speed and kind of let it go. They can't really get themselves into too much trouble, and if anything crazy happens, the game pauses itself. So we'll put it on double speed, and I'll go through some of these menus for everybody. Just in case you haven't played the game and you're catching this video. So up here in the top left, you're going to see your population of plebeians. Your workforce, your plebs. It'll show you what race they are or culture. I totally forgot about the genie people. It's not one of the races that you can play, at least not yet. But there's some cantors right down there, crazy blue genie people. So if you have them in your city, they're going to show up here. And in these menus, this is menus within menus. This is, I mean, if you're a fan of EVE Online, you will not be against all these menus, buried in menus. So under humans here, I can go properties. We see all the properties of the humans. You know, their behavior, their battle capabilities, their civics, how good they are with different buildings. These are all percentages. Traits, fighter, 0%. Glutton, 40%. Sprinter, 40%. Decrees, so you can set some decrees here for an entire population group. If you have multiples in your city, you can declare a whole day off for everybody. Give everybody a handout of 400 denarii. Make them work overtime. Prosecute them. On and on. So this is a super useful menu, and you'll see me ducking into it a lot throughout this playthrough. Under population, you'll have notifications. You'll actually see the notification for immigration over here, right in front of my thumb on the heads. All these yellow arrows, I could click on these and you'll see that we have aspiring immigrants. So I could actually authorize immigration. if I wanted, but I specifically titled this Human Dominion because we're sticking with humans. So, and these guys are still chipping away at this warehouse construction. We'll put it on 3 times. I'll get through this menu, slap it on 3 times, advance a little, slap it back on 2 times, talk about some more menus, just in case people catching this video aren't that experienced with the game and are interested in learning about it. Because it took me a lot of, I didn't watch any tutorials, it took me a lot of fiddling to figure out some of these menus, and a lot of this is just extrapolation, okay, and interpretation. So if I'm wrong and you know I'm wrong, and you're hanging out right now, tell me. And if you're catching this video later and I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. So we went over population. If we go under access, oh, hold up. We'll get back to this, but the warehouse is complete. Okay, so now that our warehouse is done, we have to assign the types of materials that we're going to put in. We have grain, wood, stone, rations, and livestock. So let's just go 2 grain, 1, 2, 3, 4 wood. This is all arbitrary. We'll get some specialized warehouses going on in the future. Put some rations in there and some livestock. Don't need that many. That's crazy talk. So I've only used 13 out of 46 crates. There's a lot more opportunity to get crates here. We can forage, we can hunt. I'm just going through this menu and picking what I think we're gonna need early on in this warehouse. I think my plan is going to be to make pastures early on. Pastures, I'm gonna secure a ton of food early on. Our whole goal for the early game is going to be food and resources. So as these guys move all these into place, we're gonna pick a spot for a pasture. So let's think about the layout of our city. I really like this water feature over here. It's a river, it's very defendable as well. So maybe at some point we're going to have a lot of our city move kind of back that way to the west. Left of my head. It's really hard when the camera makes my head move the other direction to do this. I'd like to see a lot of the city back here on the left side of the map. Very protected. And maybe we'll have kind of a large wall, large series of walls here. So if I'm thinking about pasture location, I'm thinking somewhere down here. Now, this isn't that important. You don't have to get crazy about your, about where you're putting things. I'm trying to make a pretty city. And, I mean, your first playthrough, it's going to be a mess. You're going to have stuff everywhere. Just figuring it out and learning. So we're going to keep this kind of smallish. 50 wood. Let's keep going. Let's push the boundary until we get a little crazy here. 63 wood. 75 wood. 83 wood. 93. Okay, so gate. We'll turn the gate up. You spin things by hitting R. And we only need apparently one tiny little animal hut to have 100% efficiency. When you add these auxiliaries, the one thing I love about this game is there's menus for everything, like tooltips for absolutely everything. And so this says efficiency plus, small huts and shacks where cattle can relax. Cool. So over on your right hand, 313 wood. We don't have that yet, but we will. Efficiency 100%. So once you're maxed, you're maxed. Like there's no, I could build 100 of these, but there's no point, right? If we're at 100% efficiency for the building, we're at 100% efficiency. Okay, so we've got that under construction, and before we get crazy, we're gonna fell these trees, and I'm going to suspend this whole job. We're gonna speed things up, and these crazy cats are gonna cut down all these trees. Alisanti, head into the Discord, and you can throw up a screenshot to your city. If you don't know how to get to the Discord, I just did my very first YouTube community post. I have never seen the tab before, but I threw one up. So if you just go to the channel and slide over to the community tab, there should be a post there where I have just put the Discord link. It's completely unmoderated. It could turn into a hellscape of verbal abuse. It's hard to say. But you should be able to post it there, I think. And if you can't, let me know. We'll figure that out. Okay, so we need to get 313 wood. So what I'm doing here is I've just selected to... I went down to this terraform up to fell trees. Now this is just going to cut down all these trees. They'll grow back if I don't build anything over them. But we are going to have to increase wood storage, and we're going to have to employ a delivery man to start picking this stuff up. Let's go back to 2 times speed while these guys chop wood. This guy goes and collects it, and we'll kind of pick up where we left off. So, where was I? Population? Population. So, we can see aspiring immigrants here. We have none. Generally, you're going to get immigrants as your city grows and your loyalty and happiness increase. It's almost like people are spreading the word of how cool and awesome your city is. So on this tab, you can authorize, you can set to auto-authorize even a certain amount of immigrants as they show up. I do not recommend this. Immigrants, it doesn't matter the culture. In this game, nobody really seems to like immigrants. And that's a very survival-oriented mindset, right? In this kind of medieval, hardcore, multi-racial fantasy setting. You get strangers coming into your town. There's going to be a little bit of discord. And speaking of Discord, Alisanti posted a screenshot in the Sneakeasy, if anybody wants to see it. The Sneakeasy is the name of the chat channel in the Discord, which I just mentioned you can find on the community tab on the YouTube channel. Okay, so under this tab, population, this is where we can allow immigrants. It tells us the exact amount of citizens we have, retirees, recruits, students, children, etc., and the average age of everybody. Wrongful deaths. Now, this is kind of a... This is people who starve. This is people who die of illness in the middle of the street. Nobles, it's pretty straightforward. Counts exactly how many nobles you have. And natives versus immigrants. Now, you're going to see that this immigrant tab goes up remarkably quickly. Like, we're going to hit a very high amount of immigration. And you need to get your population up. We're going to try to avoid it as much as possible later game. And tilt that over, because if you hover over this, you'll see that an immigrant is someone that has immigrated to your city and not born in it. Native citizens can have a problem with these. And right beneath that in red lettering, it says, this is disliked by your plebeians. Higher value equals less fulfillment. Fulfillment is what your people need to be happy. Okay, now that we've got all the wood in the world, we are going to activate this job down here and have them build the pasture so we can get some food production going, because we already have somebody who is starving. Our warehouse worker. I'm going to delete these jobs so these guys focus on that. And we had some fruit, I think, over here. I'm going to set this to forage. They are able to forage this right away. Hopefully somebody goes over to do that instead of just focusing on pasture construction. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel this job. I'm going to suspend this job one more time, just so everybody goes to forage. for some fruit quickly. And we're gonna add one more delivery man to this so somebody else goes and picks stuff up while this guy doesn't, so this guy doesn't starve to death from overwork. On the left, on the right-hand side here, you'll notice that that stone tab was red, which means you've reached the max of your capacity. So yeah, so wood's already at the maximal capacity. Stone hit maximal capacity again. Maximum? The most. And we're running out of crates here. We only have room for 8 more crates. So we're going to have to figure this out shortly. Okay. So, super fast. Everybody started grabbing a bunch of wood. And we're going to activate this job again to get this pasture going. My plan with this playthrough is to establish a solid food income before we expand. A big problem for players in these games, these types of games, Rimworld, Dwarf Fortress, on and on, is the kind of the how slow the early game is. So on 2 times here, as we wait for these guys to continue clearing and building our Auroch pasture, we're going to go over a couple more tabs inside the population menu here. So we went over our population tab. Pretty cool. Tells us about what makes people happy, what doesn't. Other slaves make people happy. So purchasing slaves or capturing slaves of other cultures is going to make our human dominion happy. Now, speaking of human dominion, I know I'm bouncing back and forth, so try and follow along. I always say I'm going to time tab my videos. I'll try. Don't look forward to it. But let's go up to this tab. Let's go over to our status, Mr. High Daniel. Let's change our faction name. The Dominion. The Dominion of Man. Ruler name. What do we call the ruler of the Dominion? The chairman? Emperor? No. What would you call the ruler of a Dominion? We'll start with chairman. Chairman. Yeah, we'll just go with chairman. Ruler name, chairman. And how do we like this? How do we like this flag? I kind of waffled through it as my last one. Kind of ripped, shreddies. I like that long, but I don't know if I like the circle. I don't know how to change it though, so. Despot. Is a despot the ruler of a dominion? I don't know if I buy it, Alisanti. Somebody Google this immediately. I've got to check out this screenshot of your city, actually. I really like the naming. Now, absolutely nobody is going to be able to see this, I guarantee it. But this is a sweet, sweet city. I don't know how cameras do with staring at phones. Hopefully nothing personal shows up. But that's what kind of like a, you know, a fairly developed city can look like in this game. I'm sorry if I didn't hold it up long enough, but... Sweet city, Alisanti. Sweet, sweet city. I like how you've labeled the various districts. That's very cool to me. Okay, so we went and grabbed some fruit. So this is what I was talking about over on the right-hand side. These pinkish indicators say that, hey, your warehouse is packed. We have nowhere to put the available stone and wood that's on the ground. And once we get this going, we're going to need more room for leather, and we're going to need more room for livestock. as one pasture leads to more livestock, leads to more livestock. So another thing that we have going for us right now is grain. Now, grain is useful. However, grain then requires a bakery to make bread, obviously. We have a whole section up here for bread. Oh, see? There's just about nowhere good to put your camera in this game because all these tooltip menus, they come from everywhere. I really enjoy the soundtrack to this game. I will say though, I usually listen to fantasy, like a fantasy audiobook or something on Audible while I'm playing this game. And that generally sets the tone for what sort of game that I'm playing as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this map while those guys kind of waffle through the construction of this Auroch pasture. So we have mines down here. We don't have any access to them though, so we're gonna have to dig into the side of the mountain. That doesn't seem like such a big deal. This is actually an access here. We just need to really only get through one tile, but we'll expand this. We'll open this. We'll crack this wide open. You know what? This might even be, you know, kind of the, like it'll be mines for sure, but I wonder if we almost make a small town within the mountain. That's something you can do, and this game is endless potential. Honestly, you're only limited by your imagination. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about this game. Back here, so this is where all of our fertile ground is going to be. And we can actually check that out. So there's this eye symbol overlays. Of course it's going to be behind my camera when I click it, I bet. Yeah, sure it is. You can see all these: space, urbanization, saltwater, dread, blah, blah, blah. So we can click behind my head here is fertility. So if I click fertility, all of this bright, the brighter, the more fertile. Matter of fact, that applies to everything. If I click noise, you know, we're all pretty quiet right now. Space, tons of space. Fish, we can click fish. And we can see where all the fish are, for instance, in the water. We got fishies everywhere. So this is going to be where most of our farmland goes, is along the riverbank, all the way down. All this dark terrain, that's prime farm. And prime fishing. I don't think fishing's worth it, so I'm not going to focus on fishing too much in this playthrough. Okay, so it's gone. This is something you have to watch out for. Auto employ, it is off. However, this just automatically employed 8 herders. Now up here, it's going to show us our workload, 54%. So if 8 is, you know, 39%, let's just drop it down to 3. Hopefully they go up to 100% workload. Now that we've got a pasture, we have a warehouse to store some stuff. We are absolutely bogged down with wood and stone, maxed out on stone, actually, which is awesome. That's a good problem to have. I think we need to, it's winter, we need to make sure that our people are going to stay warm. One of these menus is going to have a hearth. Make this huge. I'm just going to start off with the biggest hearth we can make. And 1, 2. So like I said, I always leave 2 tiles. I like 2 tile wide roads. So there we have a hearth. It's going to start construction, and they're also going to need water. So under health, we'll find a well. And we're going to make the biggest well possible right next to it. To maintain that kind of 2 stack, I may even go right ahead and get them some early entertainment with a speaker. Ooh, that's not gonna work out. Stop. Cease and desist. Delete. I like symmetry. 1, 2. So that would be 2, 2. That should work. This should work. It's not gonna work, I don't think. Speaker is like a town crier. They just sit up on a podium and share the news. And of course, after speaking so highly about in-game music, it's vanished on us. There it is. Just speed up the game, and it speeds up when the music shows up. A lot of stone. So it's because we've maxed out on stone in our warehouse. So right now, as we build the speaker, as we build a hearth, however you want to say it, as we build a well, these things are going to be, these are small amenities, right, for our people. So I'm going to push this on fastest, and as these guys build, loyalty and happiness is going to shoot up. We've got our Auroch pasture. It can hold up to 22 animals. I was really hoping that a pasture this size would hold more. But it's fine. Once we max out at 22, it'll start stockpiling livestock. And actually, we can put another guy on that. We'll put 4 on that to get more wood, more leather, more livestock. As we get more livestock, we're going to populate another pasture, and on and on. Like I said, you know, the goal here with this playthrough is going to be to stockpile as much food as we can early on. We're going to be playing on fast forward for a little bit here as things get rolling. So actually, wait, hold up. You'll notice we have a speaker here. Claire Nadrone. Claire Nadrone, a 24-year-old, is a stout human plebeian serving at your pleasure as a speaker. General health is good, recorded weight 80, and height is 4'7". She's just wee. The god of his, he is just wee. Of his kin is Krator. Sprinter are some of the traits that this individual is described with. Has immigrated to your city, originates from a village in the region of Pakiel. Has not yet been shopping for a home, but will look for one soon. So beneath each of your citizens, you kind of have what their needs are. More housing is needed. Better access to hearths of good quality. Just got that. That should go away soon. We want access to lavatories of good quality. We'll get there. Markets of good quality. Needy. Okay, so housing. That's going to be our next push here, is housing. And we're going to start simple. We're going to start with some apartments. And some apartments down the road from the hearth is a great decision, I think. We'll just make 4 right out of the gate. Now, with all this abundance of stone, because we have so much stone, I'm just gonna come right out of the gate making stone roads when we can. Workload 100% still, even with 4 herders. Interesting. So my goal is always to either to ride the line, right? Like stay at 100% workload, but also you don't necessarily want to remain at 100% workload. Yeah, you know, ideally you get it just under 90 something. It means you've got a spare guy in case the work gets too hard. Maxed crates. So we're gonna need another warehouse soon as well. And this is good news. We got our first goal, our first yellow arrow on the human head here. So if you right click this, it brings you immediately back to this menu that I showed you earlier under the population. And we have 2 aspiring immigrants. So I'm gonna authorize them. But watch what happens to the loyalty and happiness. Huge hits. People are not happy about immigrants in this game. There's a lot of ways to improve happiness as your game progresses. And we will talk about those as mine plummets. Another good indicator, another great menu you're going to be looking toward often is this one right up here that says food. It'll show you your production rate versus your consumption rate. So this is a problem. Production rate, 4. Consumption rate, 7. Stored, 36. Food days, 5. This makes your people not very happy. But the reality of this game is as you grow until you kind of come to a precipice. But I've found that, you know, as you get into the hundreds of population, this game goes into the tens of thousands. But as you get into the hundreds of population, you're kind of always riding this fine line between 2 to 3 days to 5 days of food stockpiled. So that's why in this attempt, we're going to try to stay ahead of the food stockpile as best we can. In the meantime, we're going to build some roads. Roads make people happy. We're going to start with dirt roads. And like I said, I like to go 2 wide. Start with dirt roads. And these spaces here on either side of the speaker, I think we're going to fill with flowers. They're a decoration that also help your people be a little more zen. If you hover over the houses, it'll show you how many people are living in them and how much space you have left over. So this is 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Now they start to get a lot more decorative as time goes on. You allow your subjects to have more wood, more furniture, more clothing, more cloth, and they start to get beds put in them. Right now, we have some straw beds, we have some stools, and some little fire pits. It improves with time. This is actually a really great turnout, though, for this pasture. 4 meat, 4 leather, half a livestock, 0.54 livestock. So as we stockpile livestock, they're going to stuff them in here. We're already at 16 out of 22 animals. I think we started with 10 or 12. Build roads around. And let's see what we can do for decoration here. So that's a torch. Torches are great. They take a little bit, however. You need iron to build them. For flower beds, you just need stone and wood, which we have an abundance of. We're going to put them around the speaker, Claire Nadrone, so that she can spread news surrounded by flowers and everybody can be a little bit happier. It emits harmony. All buildings degrade in this game. They suffer from degradation. What you need to curb degradation is janitors. So we go. I'd like to keep up with these roads. And then we're going to see if we can build our first janitor shack. Janitors kind of repair absolutely everything. Ooh, do we want to put apartments on the back side of these apartments? And then have a road that goes up either side? I think so. I think that's the move. Rotate. I'm just gonna back this wall right into this wall so they share a back wall. Oh, I might have messed that up. I did mess that up. That's gonna bother me forever. It's okay. I I got 4 out of that. I got 3 out of that. So we only have 4 days of food. So another thing you can do is set up hunters, or you can just go and, instead of foraging, like I set for the fruit earlier on, I can just circle this many, say, what are these things? Onxes. And eventually when somebody's free, they're going to slide down there and kill an ox and bring them back for food. So we're going to need to keep our eye on the immigration tab and the happiness and loyalty tab. As happiness and loyalty crests 90, I'm going to authorize more immigration, on and on. And as it raises, we should also see the influx of more aspiring immigrants because everybody's so happy. Right now, only 2 people want to come into the party here. Another tab that you'll be looking at frequently is this one up in the top left, workforce. It tells you how many people are needed, employees, and odd jobbers. What you want to get rid of is odd jobbers. They're cool to have, but it means they're unemployed, and that actually makes people unhappy. You can set different things as your priority. The priority right now is on agriculture, which is interesting. But it shows you where everybody's situated in terms of their employment. Hunters are a great hedge against food loss, and we'll get into that. I will be building a hunting shack as our population increases. Right now, we've only got 14 people. And you'll notice this latest kind of influx of immigration has crushed our loyalty and happiness yet again. So a bunch of these guys just went and absolutely destroyed those onxes and got their meat and cotton. So I could expand this warehouse, but it kind of shuts down the whole warehouse. We're gonna curb that employment a little bit, and I think what I need to do here is build a whole other warehouse, and we're going to make it a specialty warehouse specifically for what we get from animals and farms. I really like the idea of a very farm-centric human community down in this clear plain. Not a lot of woods down here. These are all going to be pastures, I think, down in here, because we can get an onx pasture going, another auroch pasture, so we'll have leather, we'll have cotton, we'll have lots of livestock. Livestock can even be kind of our trade resource as we meet new cultures, which is going to be great. Again, I don't think fishing is worth it. We're stockpiling fruit right now. We're not stockpiling it necessarily, but we've got a lot of fruit. And that's entirely by virtue of foraging. At some point, I think I will be turning this riverbank into orchards. Now, they're a real pain to build, but they're worth it in the end because they generate a ton of fruit. And apparently, when you're breeding humans, when you actually build a nursery in your human city, all they eat is fruit. Much like real children. Just fruit. Fruit and cheese. So we have a well, we have a hearth, we have a speaker, we have houses for absolutely everybody, we have one warehouse. Now what we're going to be doing is building road, warehouse, pasture. Road, warehouse, pasture. Or we'll just build a huge warehouse, and hopefully it can handle all that the pastures have to offer. You don't have to do double wide roads. I just like the way they look. And you can change all these out. We'll be changing all these to stone roads once I have the technology. That's about right. That should be able to... That should handle quite a bit of... let's... Actually, I just want to look at the crate size here. If I max the crate size... I go here. I need 1, 2... Okay. Oh, did I just delete the whole thing? Where are we at? 20 by 31? Sounds right. It's going to be a lot of wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, hold on. Middle pillars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Okay, so I should be able to, in theory... That's right down the middle, right? Am I going crazy? It's definitely not right down the middle. There is no middle. There's no such thing as symmetry. Symmetry doesn't exist. I give up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Listen, there's like... Oh, are you kidding me? With the... There's geniuses out there who could have done this much better. We'll figure this out. I'm going to try and do this with as minimal, as few pillars as possible. I am not one of them. If you didn't notice. Whatever. We're just gonna fill it up. If this is upsetting to perfectionists out there, I apologize. I am not one of those. But the idea here is that we're going to be building as many crates in this building as we can, and this is going to be our pasture warehouse. So we're gonna do ox, we're gonna do aurochs, we're gonna have lots of cotton, we're gonna have lots of leather, we're gonna have lots of whatever else, meat, and hopefully this isn't a terrible drag to build. It looks like it will be, though. Bullock-Gay, unsubscribed. There is no symmetry. Yeah, I know. I understand. Listen, I love my brother to pieces, and he's an engineer, and that guy would lose his marbles if he saw that. There would be far more measuring going on. And if you notice, we just authorized more immigration. Even more. I'm kind of confused why we're still at 16 out of 22 animals here. When we have the livestock to just bump it right up to max aurochs, you know? But as soon as our pasture warehouse is complete, then we'll be able to repurpose this warehouse. It's very small, but we'll be able to repurpose it to handle all of the stone, all the wood for the time being. Because these guys give a ton of cotton. It's just sitting here, 57 cotton, just hanging out. Again, this game, if you're just catching this stream and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I really expected action. If you watch the trailer for this game, it just shows you several thousand soldiers fighting several thousand other soldiers. And that, you do get there. You do get there. It's a bit of build up and it makes it all the sweeter. I mean, or you don't get there, or you work like a maniac and it all just fails. So we are gonna push this road right out to the shoreline. And again, all these dirt roads are gonna get replaced with stone roads. So so don't go too crazy just yet. Dirt roads are fine early on. They increase movement speed for your plebeians. And also, maybe don't do this. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't separate your workforce so aggressively. I've got, only 2 guys working on this now, and everybody else is building roads, and try to take it one piece at a time. It's like, how do you eat an elephant, That's the best way to kind of ascertain what kind of game this is, and the answer is always one bite at a time. So don't bite off more than you can chew all at once. If you're going to build roads, set some guys to building roads. If you're going to build a warehouse, set some guys to building a warehouse. Try not to do everything at once. Unless you want to. I mean, hey, it's your game, it's your world, it's your city. I like zooming out, especially when I'm doing a hyper fast forward to get a feel for the whole map, plan some future expansions. So right now we're up in this little valley, between 2 mountains. I think instead of exposing ourselves, because in my ideal world here, okay, let's walk through this. This is the road, okay? We have this will be a good section. We'll build a wall straight down, maybe from the edge of this mountain. Right down, but at the very least we're gonna encase this block here in an L-shaped bastion of wall. So we'll have our mine access. Probably we'll just dig right through the mountain, go right down the mountain, get a lot of stone in the process. It'll be agonizing, but we'll get there. And I mean, slowly but surely I will just block off the entire left side of this map. We'll just go right down here, and then we'll have some maybe satellite. Well, maybe I'll turn this all into a huge lumber camp. This will be a massive lumber camp outside the city walls, because who likes lumberjacks? I'm Canadian, I'm just kidding. I love lumberjacks. I was cutting down trees just the other day on my property. Okay, we have these guys gathering fruit. This is kind of just a hedge against our starvation in the meantime, because we don't have enough aurochs in our pasture just yet. We have a ton of wood though, so this should take no time at all to get built. In the meantime, burrito. And don't feel any urge to dress your city up or make it symmetrical. Honestly, I have another game right now, and my city's a mess. And it's a very fun game, you know, by virtue of the city being a mess. I mean, hopefully this gets finished being built soon. So you also have to keep an eye on the time. Day 2 of autumn, year 3. It's been 3 years. We've experienced 3 years together. Especially as you advance into the game, because people will just start dying of old age. So we're going to try to offset this happiness loss by letting them have more wood for their homes. Now watch what happens. We'll start seeing more stuff show up in their homes. More tables. Maybe a bed or two. Once we give them linens and stuff and cloth, a lot more beds show up. Very cool how this game does this. I don't know if anybody now, I might be dating myself here, but there's a game I used to play, and it was called Conquest of the New World. And if you've never played it, it's a DOS game, so brace yourselves. But it's one of the best games I've ever played. Okay. Get crazy with these stacks here. What else are we gonna get from animals? Leather. Lots of leather, lots of meat, lots of cotton. I don't know what else we get from animals, but as we find it, we will add it to this warehouse. This is strictly our farm, our pasture warehouse. So let's add an employee here, or 2. I think 2 is best. And we will get rid of the meat here, get rid of the livestock here, get rid of the leather here. We will increase the stone. We will increase the wood. And that'll be good. What else do we have in here? Anything crazy? It's gonna only hold 1,600? Okay. Huge pasture warehouse constructed. Not huge. I mean, you will have larger warehouses as time goes on. But now we're going to move to make another pasture, except this time it's going to be onks, I think. And we have a few more immigrants. One more that wants to come into town. Loyalty is decreasing. It is of utmost importance that you tend to your subjects' needs. They'll be fine. Go to access, I'll let them have a little bit more wood. Not too much, though. One of the things we do need to build early on, however, is a carpenter's shack. And we'll be utilizing a lot of the wood for that. You actually get a ton of food production out of Entelodonts, pigs. So that's probably the route we're going to go for food in a moment. But I want to get onks for the cotton and the food. So we'll do a fair-sized onks pasture here. And then maybe we'll build a road and do a very large Entelodont pasture. So this will help us stockpile food. A lot of meat, a lot of leather, a lot of livestock, a lot of cotton. I've never really taken this route before, but it makes a ton of sense to me. I just hope that things like drought, too much sunshine, etc. don't kill all my animals. If anybody hanging out right now or catching the game later has played this game, tell me what you think about this approach. Kind of going all in on pastures, storage, and food first. Pacify the xenophobic plebeians by giving them wood. It's called a housewarming party for a reason, Bullet K. It's called a housewarming party for a reason. So where this game really starts to shine, I'll get into it. I'll dig deep here. If you're thinking to yourself like, okay, neat, sweet simulator. Well, hang on to your hats. If you click on the subjects tab, you know, let's put it on normal speed for a hot second. Adelina Arkuden, human odd jobber. Click on her. Let's learn a bit about Adelina. 30-year-old human plebeian, serving your grace as an odd jobber. General health is good. She's 4'6", follows and worships Crater, said to be a descendant of a great hero of the North. Okay. Great hero of the North. So let's look at her properties. What's that tell us? Battle, like for a great hero of the North, she sucks. But she gets all these blue or little bonuses that she gets, which is pretty cool. So basically, you can follow each individual character. Also, last names. If two people have a child, the child will get the last name of the father. On and on. You can follow kind of bloodlines and lineages down, and maybe you can find a cool character who's good at battle, has great battle stats, and promote them to be a noble. Or a farmer, somebody who's been a farmer in your crew since the beginning. It gets to the point where you can make them a noble. You can make them a general of your militaries. Like this, I mean, when it boils down to it, I mean, this game reminds me a lot of Black and White, just without the huge monsters. If you've never played Black and White, look that game up. But as you go through the game, you're going to have standout characters. They're either going to do awesome work, they're going to perform extremely well in a battle. They're going to be the only survivor of a massacre. Whatever the case, they might be the only survivor of a plague that rips through your town. Stone. That's madness. Now, none of our neighbors have spoken to us yet. I don't even know if I can speak to nearby factions. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Hey. Okay, so we're gonna try and engage in some trade. Let's barter that out. They want stone to give me a trade agreement. I'll give them stone and a trade agreement. And let's go to the Flans public here. These are both Dondorians, both kind of dwarves. So let's see if we can. They both just want stone, which we have in spades. So perfect. So I just cemented 2 trade contracts, I guess, with my neighbors. So insufficient workers allocated. Yeah, let's go down to 4. Chill, relax. And we're gonna wait till our happiness comes back up before I accept any of this immigration. Wow, this pen, which to me looks to be the same size, can hold 46 onks, whereas this one can only hold 22 aurochs. Are you kidding me? You can also expand a pasture. It shuts it down for a little while, but I may drag these pastures back, or I may stick with the original idea and make a huge pig pasture down here for meat. So this is maxed out almost, 20 out of 22. This one is 12 out of 46, so we'll wait until we stockpile a bit more livestock. Live stockpile. And then build a huge pig pen. And I mean huge. It's going to be the primary source of our food. And I like this. This is going to start filling up with cotton, leather, meat. What else do we have in here? Livestock. Awesome. Just awesome. We only need 1 delivery man for that place, and we absolutely only need 1 delivery man for this place. So we still have guys foraging the fruit there. We don't have anybody foraging the fruit here. Is there any? We'll get that set up. And you'll notice all these trees that I cut down earlier, they're already growing back. So unless you build over them, all the trees are going to grow back. There's a couple options for gathering wood. Now, if you were here earlier, you may have heard me mention a woodcutter's camp. So in my vision here, we're going to turn this entire area into a woodcutter's camp. It's going to be outside the walls of the city. I think we're going to build a big, huge wall from this mountain edge kind of down, maybe to this mountain edge even. Huge wall, maybe 1 or 2 gates, a north gate and a south gate, and then build the rest of the city back towards this fertile, riverbed, build some bridges to these islands, and expand down this way and wall this off as well. Kind of this whole right side early on maybe left out of our walled city, or now that I'm looking at it, we cut a hard 45. You know what I'm saying? Or we go 90. We 90 it. Cut off the top right section of the map and turn this all into maybe 1 or 2 huge lumber yards. Which is, it's different from your just felling trees. Instead of just cutting them down, building over them, they never grow back. If you set up a woodcutter's farm, they harvest the forest. I don't know, in some kind of controlled fashion. Maybe they bought environmental credits from the Canadian government. Chick-Eye asks, no tilapia farming ghetto yet? Wait, when you say tilapia, do you mean the fish ladies? Can you do that? Or do you mean an actual, like, bunch of fishermen back here on the islands? Because when I think tilapia, I think these people. The tilapis. The sea hags. Wow, okay, this is really going well. This the pastures. The pastures are really doing well. I'm super happy that you don't have to also have something ridiculous like a grain pasture in order to or a grain farm to feed your animals. You just assign herders and they figure it out. There's a lot of fish in here, but I've never found a good return on manpower investment for fish, you know? Let's oh, we need a janitor. Oh, what do I don't know what I'm thinking here. Cannibal, woodcutter, carpenter, baker, clay pit, blah 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 blah. Janitor. You know what? I might put the janitor front and center. So, right here. That's it. That's the janitor. That's how this is gonna work. It's kind of huge for a janitor shack, since there's probably only going to be one guy in here, but... Tilapia are your dark elf proxy. They're so low rent, they're great. Just build a temple for them and they'll put up with anything. Great battery farm workers. I did not know that. I might enslave them. Based on the title of the stream, given that it's like human dominion, I think what the plan is here is to eventually, you know, maybe become a human empire. The janitor closet dwarfs both the throne room and the apartment complex. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I hadn't thought of that. We are going to need to add some more housing here shortly. News, hearth. Well, now we have a janitor who's going to deal with all this degradation. Everything breaks down in this game. Workload is low. Let's get rid of a herder then. These guys, on the other hand, have a very high workload, so we will add a herder. The plan here is to only allow... This is going to be an entirely human empire. There will be slaves. There will be slaves. Fear not, my pro-human friends. But there will not be immigrants of other cultures in the human dominion. No tilapia, no Cretonians. I'm actually really kind of happy with how this food storage is going. Despite the fact it says production is lower than consumption, we seem to be doing just fine. What am I gonna put here? What is tiny enough to fit there? Can I grab all those these things here? I can hunt them all. I might as well hunt them all, you know, now that you mention it. No reason not to. Since I have my own ox pastures, we'll just get these guys out of the way. Give ourselves a big old cotton and meat boost. Janitors. No, it's not done being built yet. As soon as it's built, though, it's gonna probably try and hire 1 million people. We'll keep 2 employed. Full on Warhammer 40k. Yeah, oh boy, Imperium of Man. That's the title of the next stream. This is gonna, well, as this builds, as we build, this just gets crazier and crazier. Soon, people will start to threaten us. I mean, we're only at 17 pop, so maybe not yet, but when you hit the 100 mark, and it starts to compound, right? It seems like it's slow right now, but as time goes on, it starts to compound. Things happen a lot more quickly, as you'd expect. Year 4. Things aren't going too slowly. We're doing all right. We've got a big road. We have a road down where people can swim. Wow, that guy is brave. Day 3 of winter, and he's just taking a skinny dip. He must be watching all those Instagram influencers who get up and have cold ice baths. I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but I'd rather slam my Johnson in a door than hop in a bath full of ice. I mean, more power to your immune system and all that, but... Okay, Onk's pasture, doing okay. 20 out of 46. Auroch pasture, finally full. We have 2 spare livestock. This stone, we need to increase the stone warehouse though. Okay, so let's break this down and let's build it up a bit here, shall we? Expand room. That's not gonna work. How's this gonna work? There we go. Nope. But there was nowhere was weak. There you go. All the onks that were wild are now dead, except for this final holdout. He avoided the purge. Leather's going up, cotton's going up, which is huge. Tons of meat. So I'm actually gonna take fruit off the menu. So that might sound crazy, but I want to start stockpiling fruit. I want to start stockpiling fruit because the sooner we can stockpile lots of fruit, the sooner we can make a human nursery. Human babies eat a ton of fruit, babies and children. Just an unnecessary amount of fruit. It'd be really great if you guys finished clearing this and building this building so I could store all of my stone and wood and stuff. I'm just gonna let them have a little bit more wood. Hopefully they get happier. Just wait. As soon as we let them have actual cloth, whew, these apartments are gonna look slick. It's very communal though. A lot of people live in one apartment. What am I gonna put here? What makes sense to put here? What is 3 tiles wide and useful? I messed up, okay? I messed up. A lavatory. Maybe we can do some kind of crazy... Can we fit anything if I do this? Can I fit anything in here? No, I absolutely cannot. Right? No, not happening. You can't have a 3-tile lavatory, okay. Decorations? Torches? We can do torches. That's not a 3-tile torch. Benches? What? You can make benches huge. Who knew? I'm gonna do 2 sections of bench here. That's pretty cool. I could do benches facing the farm, benches facing up, and flowers in between. Oh, I could do a huge tree. Emits harmony? Yep, let's emit all the harmony. The trees are also larger than the throne room. We're gonna throw another herder in here. 5. Got 7 here. Workload is low. We'll take 1 out of here and we'll make it 6 and 6, and even 6 and 6. So the same size. So hopefully, well, this has twice as many animals though, and this is still workload 83. Let's go down to 5 and let's go up to 7 and see what happens. Grain is a good crop to have early game. I totally agree. My other game is completely, I rely on grain. My gripe with grain, my issue with grain is that it's a seasonal product. And if you're relying on bread as one of your primary food sources, you have to wait for the season. So you constantly always tread this food stored line versus food consumed. I did, at least. I was always on like kind of this razor's edge of starvation. How is this not done yet? Okay, we need to figure this out, team. Oh, that requires, yes. We will suspend those jobs. That requires furniture. There we go. The gang's all involved. A lot of stuff I've found in this game, you have to build roads to it for your populace to get really involved. Okay, workload is low. Let's drop down. Maybe 5. This is the right size for just 5 herders. So we'll get this warehouse expanded. It probably would have been faster just to build a totally different warehouse onto the back of this warehouse. So the radius of this janitor's shack is massive. We will not need another janitor's shack for quite some time. But you notice they even have to maintain the roadways. I have a lot of Chikai. The pathing you say is way better in version 0.65. I have a lot of patience for any game this complex that's being developed by one single person. I'm happy to give my money to passion projects like this, because this has brought me. I mean, already this game. I mean, if you were to, I grew up playing video games in arcades, you know, and for $1 you would not get an hour of gameplay that you enjoyed, and I've already gotten back my money in spades from this game. So if anybody hanging out watching this video or catching it later is on the fence about buying this game, I can't recommend it enough. It's also one of those unique games because if you're... You know, I've been playing this on super fast forward the entire time, but this is one of those games where if I put it on normal, I can go, you know, vacuum the living room, take the dog for a walk. It's such a leisurely pace on normal. Look at these guys. And if anything dire is about to happen, anything at all, it pauses the game and you get a message prompt. So honestly, it's one of those games you kind of go hands off. It quick saves every several minutes. You set the quick save frequency. And it's such an enjoyable game. It's such an enjoyable game from an imagination standpoint. You know, the stories write themselves. I've seen so many YouTube videos, titles, you know, 90-Year War, The Great Famine, things like that. Like, it's pretty interesting. If you're a writer or the imaginative sort, this game would give you all the fuel you need to write epics. Almost maxed out this pasture. So as soon as this pasture's maxed out, we'll be able to start on the pig pasture. Now, the pig pasture, if we're looking at those, where are those guys? So if I go down here, husbandry, Intelligent. These guys seem to me, so Intelligents are 1.50 meat, right? This is 1. Aurochs are 7.5. Globdians are 0.15. Nothing. You get eggs mostly from those things. They're turtles. Onks, you get 0.5. So Entelodont, pig pasture. We're gonna. I think the Entelodont pasture is gonna be the real kind of food source for this crowd. Now, I don't even know if humans like meat. Yeah, okay, it's preferred by humans. So the Entelodont pasture, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. It's going to be, you know, kind of the biggest undertaking yet. It's going to span this whole segment back here, I think. We'll have this kind of, you know, odd triangular pig pasture on the back of all of our other pastures. That's the plan right now. Awesome. And we finally got this. How come I don't have any more crates? Am I missing something? Did I not build any more crates when I built this? Was that not the whole point of this? I knew I missed something. Well, now what's going on with this yellow block? Oh well, they'll be able to sort this out. Once all those crates are built, then we'll have storage for all of our wood and stone again. In the meantime, our Onks pasture is almost at capacity. Let's add another herder, and we'll do the same over here. 6 and 6. The cotton stockpile is awesome. Okay, I will be right back. Keep an eye on the farms. Okay. What did I miss? Probably nothing. But that's... Okay, so again, that's one of the redeeming features. One of the redeeming qualities of this game. You're able to walk away and do stuff. Unsolicited nudity from Science Chudwell. What a name. Classic Science Chudwell. Oh, man. Whoever came up with the random naming for this game, 5 stars. I mean, it's obviously Jake, the single developer. BK, I tried to keep my eyes on the farm, but all I could look at were the warehouse columns. I know, I'm so sorry. Look at how bad this is. Let's take this in as a group. Oh, if you even move your mouse over it, it highlights them. So far, I've only actually managed to get to 1 noble. And he was the master of farms. Okay, 3,000 stone. What else we maxed out on? Nothing. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Wood surprisingly becomes a precious resource. You wouldn't expect that, because as you build, I'll put a bunch of flowers here right beside the old throne room. I don't even know if we'll keep it there either. And I don't think I'm going to go through the fiasco of rearranging a warehouse ever again. I'm not entirely certain why nobody wants to immigrate here just yet, but we have amenities. What is keeping you people unhappy? They're probably just mad because I won't let them eat fruit. I'll just let them wear more clothing. I don't know if I don't even have a tailor, so this may be kind of moot. I'll let them use more wood for their houses, if that helps. Here, have some more wood for your house. I don't have any furniture yet. On that note, I should probably build a carpentry shop. Now, furniture becomes a big deal, so I think a large carpentry shop is kind of the best policy. I don't know if I think I want to save all this for industry, so maybe we'll go a fairly large carpentry shop right out of the gate. Carpenter. Negative. Mining, crafting, carpenter. It's too much. But furniture is a big deal. Furniture is the bane of my existence in my other game. Now no, I can't do that. This space down here is gonna bother me to no end. If a tree is 3 squares, I can turn this into something marginally useful. Maybe like a long laboratory. So we'll go here, 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 add another tree. Yeah, whatever, we'll figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, perfect. Which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, it didn't work out. That's kind of symmetrical, but now we end up with this. What is this? I mean, it's not symmetrical at all. Hold on, we'll figure this out. I think that's symmetry, so try not to get too mad at me. Okay, why are there yellow? Look at those. Look at those 4 little yellow squares. What? How come I can't? Why won't you let me? Wow, the efficiency? This is a serious workshop. I built some carpentry workshops, and that one is serious. Build benches. You need furniture to build benches. I would build benches. But everything's working out. As we approach the 2-hour mark here, I think we are going to be calling this stream. Thank you very much for everybody who hung out and took the time to chit-chat and joke and give me their input on the game. If you're catching this stream later, thanks for sitting through it. Let me know your thoughts on this approach to Songs of Six. Like I mentioned, everybody who's hanging out, I found the community tab for the first time in YouTube. I should really start learning how to use this website. But I posted a link to the Scotch Samurai Discord to the dojo. I mean, try and keep it sensible. Be nice to your friends if you're gonna join. And I hope to see everybody back for the next one. I'm really enjoying this game. I can see myself playing it a lot in the future. But anyways, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully on the next one, we get to set up our gigantic pig pen. And we get to start building our wall, our gate, and doing the research that we need to send armies out into the world. Let's save this as the Dominion of Man. Ma. The Dominion of Ma. Take it easy, everybody.